Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today I just voted early here in New York, and today is October 26th. I went to my local polling station, everything went smoothly, I was pretty happy with it, but I think now it's time. I know we've not really talked about anything about the election on either of the channels this year, just because it's been so up in the air. I've been so extremely disheartened with both candidates that my thoughts just are, you need to vote for who you want to vote for, whomever it is, whether it be Kamala or Trump, and I think that's just the baseline. That'll figure, that'll kind of just be the way that we can kind of refer to each other as for the next 4 years, which side you're on, because it's basically a 50-50 election, because the independents, they really don't matter. Third-party candidates really don't come into like a significant factor in any elections. But my thoughts were, again, no matter who you're voting for, this is time to start talking to other people. A lot of people, they have Instagram, they have whatever, and their feed will show them something in particular. For me, it's like stupid pets in costumes and stuff. But it kind of puts you in a bubble, and it enhances whatever feelings that you really, really feel. So if you're conservative, it'll kind of pump you up. If you're liberal, it'll pump you up. But the things that make the most difference going forward will be talking to people across the aisle. And again, I refer to that way because there's two sides. Whether your candidate wins or doesn't win, you're going to be upset. You're going to think, okay, this is it. I think one of the worst things I've heard people say, and it comes from both sides, they say, oh, what are you going to do if the other candidate wins? And they're like, oh, I'm moving out of the country. I'm out. And I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. First of all, the country, for a lot of us, for me, I'm privileged to be here in a beautiful city, in a beautiful situation. It's pretty good. Now, if you are on the bad end of things in this country, then maybe it is time to look for another place that maybe could work. And that's not saying you're abandoning your country or doing whatever, because your loyalty is to yourself. You have to make yourself the best that you can without hindering others. I mean, that's something I really feel strongly about in the business world, in my own life, in everything that I possibly do. I stand up for things that I believe in, and I'm pretty stubborn and steadfast with that. But yeah, leaving a situation just because, let's say you're a privileged person, you're like, oh, I'm just going to get out and going to go to Europe. Europe doesn't want you. Canada doesn't want you. Nobody really wants you, especially for somebody who can't really fight for themselves and sees voting in a presidential election as the end-all be-all. It's not. It's the beginning point about what you're going to be doing for the next 4 years. You're voting for senator, you're voting for congressman, you're voting for local offices, you're doing a lot of stuff. And what you're really going to be doing begins when you know who is at the head of the table. That's when you know what you'll have to do. Is it going to be an easy path for you? Is it going to be harder? Who knows exactly what it is, but voting in the 2024 presidential election is the beginning of things. It's not the end of things at all. So I really hope that you guys, no matter who wins, you just kind of look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm happy this happened, or I'm unhappy this happened, and I need to make a change, or I need to further these efforts to get more of what I like happening around, if that makes any sense. So what this means for me personally, it's because I used to be in politics growing up. I kind of fell out of love with things here, and I didn't want to be a part of everything. And then once I saw that it was Biden and Trump, I saw a decrepit old man versus just, a piece of shit. And it's like, I would be voting in that case, in that hypothetical, because, Biden's not in this anymore. I would probably vote for Biden just because of the structure around that. He's a do-nothing president, so it allows activists like myself and others to kind of push things forward other than a, um, a candidate like Trump with a very steadfast agenda, making the changes that he wants happen because of his position, because of his friends and other colleagues. That's more of something to fight against. When you have a president, and like most politicians are seen as do-nothing candidates, they go out there, they preach a lot, and then they end up doing nothing. But I mean, like, sometimes it's hard to do so just because there are so many people going against you. Whatever you want, somebody's going to be going against that. And that's magnified by so much when you are a presidential candidate or the president or even vice president. But, they don't do as much as the president, which is what we're talking about here. But who am I looking to vote for here? Well, I already voted. I voted for Kamala. And again, she stands for so many things that I detest and hate and really just can't wrap my mind around. But it's like going against the standard politician versus what I would call a wild card candidate. And for somebody who, we've kind of been around him in the media and we kind of know his backstory, kind of uses, abuses, and kind of gets rid of things when he is done with them. And in the practice of being a businessman, that's great because you're going for your shareholders, you're getting people the most money possible, your investors, yourself. But when that comes to the United States, there's an undercurrent of people paying for elections. But in this case, this is just, he's going to use and abuse this this country, and it's just going to be gone. And when he's done after 4 years, because that's going to be it, like what's going to be left of things? We see so much turmoil going on in Palestine. There's a genocide going on there and in other areas too. I hate what is going on here. And again, Kamala has been just kind of vocal about not being vocal about what's happening here. We're allowing these things to happen. It's really changed my mindset in how I think of people and, kids and just everything about what, we hold true. I mean, if I want something, I'm going to fight like hell for it if I think it's right. But there are lines that I don't cross. But it seems like people willingly will just cross those lines. So you actually have to maybe cross some lines yourself, just kind of putting yourself to be on an even playing field with these people, because I don't believe in the concept of good and evil anymore. It's more like the people who are against you. Those people are going to do anything in their power to get one over on you or continually get over on you. You can't be naive and think that you're going to be the good person. You're going to run for things. You're going to do things the right way, because that just doesn't really exist. You have to do things. You have to be functional. You have to do things. I guess you have to do things in a right way to what your standards are and what your morals are. But you have to acknowledge the fact that there are other people out there that will not do those things. They will be as terrible as possible to get what they want. So just be, at the very minimum, just be observant of that and realize that other people, even people that lie to your face, even candidates that look like they're amazing, they're not. They're never that. It's just, I don't even know what to think about that. But I voted for Kamala. I don't really stand by that. I don't recommend other people vote for her. The thing is, I was very, very close to voting for Trump. And I want to tell you why. And it's because he is somebody who is not a career politician. I mean, right now he's messing things up as a politician, but he is a businessman. He's somebody on the outside going in, kind of changing things. But when you want a candidate like that, you have to have somebody who's a reasonable human being doing that. Just because you don't want the same politician over and over and over doesn't mean you can just pick an oddball just to do it. There are other people that possibly could do this, and I really think we do need an outside voice, somebody who has not been a career politician. But right now, it's not Trump. He is just somebody who's using this power vacuum just to gain power and to kind of do what he wants for his friends, for the people around him, and he's kind of spewing lies and spewing things that will kind of get the idiots out there just on his side. He's not there for you. The type of person that he is, he's there for himself. And normally I would say, hey, that's not a bad thing. I'm for myself first, just like everybody should be. But he is for himself first at the detriment of others. And it's almost like, yes, he is always going to be doing that at the detriment of others. That's the point in this. So I can't stand by that. I did want somebody on the outside because I hate the same old politician after another one after another. That's just not really working. But that's kind of what we have going on now, and we have to cultivate new candidates, not these decrepit old people that really are there for themselves to make money. Biden does it, Trump does it. We have to get new, fresh faces in here that are maybe around my age and older. I'm 35. It's got to be new people, new blood to infuse this country, because here we are with huge technological advances like AI, which is going to help progress things by magnitudes, huge magnitudes, and it's not being controlled or not controlled. It's being handled by these mega corporations, which are great. There's no kind of limits on that. My worry is that the older generation, the people who don't take advantage of AI and maybe kind of play around with a hindered AI, won't get the full effect out of it. And it's going to be these larger corporations and people who are better, in the know, getting more out of AI than other people around. And they're just going to grow whatever they want. And usually it's the need of money and power. They're just going to be they're just going to be growing that at a huge point. So we need people that actually understand this stuff. Somebody in the tech space, I think, would be great, but right now we have a lot of egomaniacs in the tech space. I don't know. I would love to see what happens here over the next 20 years. Whether Trump or Kamala wins in a few days only, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world for you. That means you know exactly the rules of the game that you have to play by. So this is the call to action. This is the time to do everything that you want to do. I just want to progress this country. I'd like to progress the entire world. I'd like everybody to be successful and happy. I hate that, I've been watching clips and videos of youths being destroyed, of families being destroyed, mindsets being destroyed, countries, peoples being destroyed over power grabs. And it's just kind of it's disgusting, it's disheartening, but that's what we have to do. Anyway, my food is ready. I gotta go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time.